Hi YouTube, how are you today? I'm doing pretty good. I was out looking at some funky mushrooms this morning. Pretty strange. In my other video, if you look at them, there's one, a yellow one with a gray top. I have never seen it before. It looks kind of resembles the shape of a morel or a false morel, which is deadly, the false one. But morels are really prized in the mushroom community for their flavor and putting in different dishes as an ingredient for uh, famous restaurants with wild mushroom sauteed and that type of thing. So kind of like truffles are and um, that type of thing. So yeah, I sent my video into I belong to mushroom enthusiast group on Facebook, and I sent them the video. Maybe they can identify it. I was going to take a picture, but I thought I'd just leave them alone. But I saw my little mama cat nursing the white baby that is not hers, that's almost as big as her. And her little white one has gray on its head and on her tail. I call her Puck. I did call her White Fang, but she didn't like that. So we just, she's Puck now. So Puck and Yeti are nursing on this mama, and I don't even think she has any milk. I think she's just cuddling them out in the yard. They're laying in the grass together, all cute. So I was listening to a sermon. Don't know the guy's name. I might have to. Just a sec. I'll. It is Celebration Church is the name of his channel. Guy is really smart. I agree with something he said as far as he was speaking on the saints. He doesn't like the word saints. He prefers the correct translation is holy ones, and how they were instructed to judge the angels in the end times. Well, uh, you know, it's like we should judge ourselves too. You make yourself upstanding, then you are commissioned, told, instructed, and have the right and all authority to judge angels, which are the fallen angels. Whether you identify with an angel in your own vessel, um, who your spirit is and who you identify closely to. Could be maybe you do feel like an angel, but maybe you don't feel like a fallen angel. Well, you know who you are then. Then it's not a great big deal. But the saints, um, I do believe now, don't mark my words, but I do believe there was 500 saints, and they were being encompassed, the camp of the saints. That's not the holy people that are being encompassed. This is the holy people that are encompassing the camp of the saints. If you'll see and read how the saints were those of the fallen ones, I hope you make that connection that they have the opportunity. Those are the ones that God's mostly upset with because they know the scriptures inside and out, and they're turning away from God. Those are the ones he's most upset with. Those are the ones that we need to, if we can't reach them, we don't need to teach them. If we can't reach them, I mean, threatening and yelling at demons isn't probably going to help nothing, but telling them what's up, and we realize the times that we are in. Revelation would have happened a long, long time ago, and people would have known a whole lot more. Of course, the truth and our history and everything has been kept from us for hundreds, if not thousands of years, burning books and killing people. And what they do is it this is a fact. They're still hurting people all over the world on a daily basis to silence them. Now, when you have what a dumb time to start firing medical professionals in a so called pandemic. That sounds a little bit idiotic. You know, why not make separate wards for um, patients and staff that do not, that want to rely on their immune system? If you've already had the flu, why would you want to put more of it in your system? And this is what the medical professionals that are quitting are standing on: the science, the proven science, you know. And I've spoken that before, but it is so true. Congress passed not an actual bill, but they made it possible for the Democrats to have funding that they need for their endeavors. And if you look what really is written in the bills of the things that they want, you'd probably be shocked. Um, till December, and then they're going to take it back into Congress and try and get their um what was it, $3.5 trillion package passed, or whatever, into the trillions, you know. Um Also today, Pfizer is asking Congress to allow them to pass the um, law that children under 12 can be vaccinated. Why would a big pharmaceutical company take their product to Congress and ask? I mean, this hasn't even been thoroughly tested. There's no way they could. You can't test something, you know. I can tell you, like the polio vaccine, it didn't totally eradicate polio. And the ones that started taking it in 1953 or 4, um, some of the states didn't even allow it. And they said that it was eradicated by everybody doing this. And some people didn't even take the shot until the liquid form was developed in, I do believe, the 70s. And I think I took mine. They gave me a shot in like 1963 or thereabouts, or 4. And people that are elderly develop other diseases from what they took back in them days, like shingles, which can be de- debilitating. It takes your skin off, like off your back, with sores, and you can't sleep. You get feverish. You can't eat. People do die. Then they get like pneumonia or other sicknesses because their immune system has weakened. And elderly people literally get sick and die. So they don't know what they're doing. Why don't they admittedly get on there and list the side effects of what the polio vaccine did to people and is still doing? And there is a pill now that they made for shingles, but if you've had it, they don't know if you should take it again. One of those, you know. So there's a lot of serious stuff going on in the world today. Sure is. Excuse me a minute. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty crazy. I'm more concerned. what are they? I mean, I hear there's all these thousands and thousands of indictments that are going to come into play, and Trump's name thrown around still. Um, what they're calling Red October. Like I say, like 30,000 indictments or something. Well, let's get with the program. Let's start with the people in Congress right now that aren't helping the people that are losing their jobs and small businesses and homes coming up here right now. And all the ships sitting out in every port all the way around the United States, Canada, and Mexico, sitting out in the water in the ports with their goods on the ships. Why? Why is that? The truckers aren't on strike right now. That's not an excuse. The trains are still running. That's not an excuse. Planes are still flying. Goods can be gotten to people all over. Why are these? Who stopped the goods in the harbors? And why? Why is not Congress doing something to help people? Seriously. I don't, I mean, I know why, but that people don't see this clearly like that. And then there's going to be more inflation because these goods are just sitting there. I don't know. I don't get it. Also, like the nurses union, where are they? Why aren't you? Nurses paid their dues into their stinking union all their lives. My nurse friends on here, where is your union to help you now when your job's in jeopardy? If you don't comply with what they tell you you have to do to keep your job, why isn't your union stepping up and helping you right now when you need it most? They should be screaming to the high heavens. You'd think they would be. That's why I'm saying something, but then I'm not a president of anybody's union. But I would be. I'd be out there. I'd be all over the media if I had any kind of a voice for the people in the medical field. I'd be out there. I'd be screaming at the top of my, well, not screaming. I'd be applying whatever avenue I could in the government, on behalf of the people that have paid their dues all their lives. But then, when you're a nurse and you're probably making $85 an hour in some city, maybe. Some do, some don't. But if you're making $85 an hour, you're probably going to take the jab and keep your mouth shut. And then people that die, hypocrite, um, will just die because you decided not to say anything. You know, that's what gets to me. Hippocratic oath. Well, once again, go look at the oath that was started in England in I think it's 1200 AD, and look how they changed that from the wording from art, from your art, or yeah, from arts to craft. How did art of being a medical professional turn into a craft? A craft as in like traveling, art as in an ability to create, craft as in an ability to deceive. Yeah, kind of the change of wording there, and then see how it changed coming to the United States. That's all very interesting. It'd take you about 10 minutes to read it. Look up the original Hippocratic Oath in England, then see how that was changed, then see what they changed in the United States. And from what I understand, they're in the process of changing the wording again. These are crafts, arts, and crafts that were typically passed down like wizards um, from one family to the next. And that's why you have like your Ivy League schools where the people that come from the blood money that has been passed around through these families for ages, their children go to Ivy League colleges, and our children don't. You know, that's why. Because the craft that they're passing on is a money making thing. It has nothing to do with health care or care of anybody but themselves. So, yeah, pretty horrible. I really need to see um some kind of miracle like shortly here. Usually when I really need some kind of uplift like that, God helps me out and I'm like expecting one cuz I got to admittedly down in the dumps today. Not totally sad, like my heart isn't pained with sorrow. I mean, I'm sorrowful, but not like I have been in my life. I'm not letting it debilitate me, you know. It's like, yeah, I expect it. I expect their crap, you know, but more and more all the time. But I still will never understand it. I still will never understand what makes a human being's heart tick when it's so cold. I can't grasp that. I really can't. You know, it's like I sent a meme to Doug, you know, it's like I knew I was in trouble. You know, it was a meme, excuse me, I light a cigarette, but um knew I was in trouble when I was crying inconsolably from something you did and you didn't console me. I knew then that, you know, I was in trouble with my choices in my life, you know, and you know, to even read something like that, like your so called wife, he'll call me his wife, but yet he'll read something like that. And just, well, it might have been the next meme I sent him too that said, if you're reading this, F you. So, yeah, maybe it was the second meme that got me no response. Nah, I definitely say something any normal human being would, you know. But I honestly will watch somebody like that cry and just let them cry. And it's like, lately I've been like, you really need to get over the fact that your mother didn't have your hearing checked like she should have. You know, stop blaming your mother for being a bad mother when her child had committed suicide and um her husband was really like Doug, very ignorant and quiet, and the woman had a nervous breakdown and with nobody to help her at all. I'm like, you really need to like grow up, you know, get over it, that type of thing. So when I see people using what they had happened in their childhood as an excuse to treat other people in a cruel manner, and it's not just me. I mean, I'm speaking out against this because this is the type of people in this world. I mean, he's not cruel just to me. He's cruel to anybody he can get away with it. Like For instance, one of our customers um, uh, is very well to do, has many collector vehicles, and Doug isn't very well. There's shops in the cities that charge a whole lot more than and don't do quite the work, the craftsmanship that Doug can do. Um, so this man knows that even Doug has been shady sometimes and still tolerates it. And when they talk on the phone, it's like this man will talk with all the love in his heart and such a good person. And that type of thing just like utterly makes me sick to be associated with something like that. I'm sure when these type of things happen, or if like our handicapped friend Dave, we had one friend Dave die, but the one that's handicapped and his mother just died, Doug had a tendency to talk down to him, but Dave's like about probably 6'3" and probably 250, something like that. And I mean, probably could just totally clean Doug's clock. Maybe not though, because Doug's pretty flippin' evil, and he's not a little guy. He's shorter. He's 5'6", but he weighs like pushing probably 300 pounds, or whatever. He's huge. Um, uh, so like if you put two of me thick, is about what he is. And so, but anyway, my point is he'll push people around or say things to them, or that type of thing, unless they stand up for themselves. And with a man, he probably won't go back down that road of disrespect, but with a woman he would. And it's like, it's like he's the type of person, I'm just talking here, whatever. But I'll get up and say, well, this bitch here, whatever, and I'm like, whatever, even if that's, how you feel in your heart, right, just shut the hell up. I very rarely have to be pretty upset to uh describe another human being like that. It's not my normal thing, is what I'm trying to say. I have occasionally, but like I say, it's not a ongoing thing with me. It's not a normal typical day where I'm calling some woman, you know names like that. So it's like, well, whatever. Or how somebody that is actually of that bloodline, the Slovakian bloodline that carries that demonic spirit, can sit there and call their cohorts, yeah, they're corrosive. These corrosive people in that family bloodline names when they're related to them. It's like sitting there, like, you make yourself what, look lily white when you, let's like when, I don't know, even they'll talk about like their siblings or whatever in a low light of disrespect. It's like, hey, that's your own blood. How can you be doing that? It's like, whatever. So, yeah. I don't know. I just find it very odd. you know. But it is hard to be around. It really is. I was kept up late again last night, and I asked him this morning, didn't say much this morning, and then I said, came out and said, so much for you trying to make normal nights so we can have some kind of decent hours around here. Well, I'm trying. I said, well, how are you doing that? Staying up. Well, he said, I try to not make any noise to disturb you. And I said, well, it didn't work because I knew he wasn't going to do that anyway. Like actually get up in the mornings and go to bed at night. Kind of normal. But, how embarrassing for me. I mean, it's only been decades, but like now I will get really, really mouthy. But it used to be times in my life where we had children around here in our home or other people's homes that could hear his stereo because he always likes got to have a big system, and boom that stuff. It's like, no, I put an end to that. You are not doing that. These babies got to get up and go to school the next day. You know, forget it. And all he had to do was walk to school just a few blocks in his little tiny town. These kids live out in the country. They got to get bundled up, walk down a long, long driveway to get to the school bus or rides from their parents, but they got to get up very early to get their day going. It's like you are not going to hurt these kids, or even, you know, it's just so disrespectful and so grody, you know. So, but I put a into it like last week he had his stereo going and then was going to leave it on all night. And then got mad when I said, "Well, I don't want to hear that bass all night long. And his, "Well, I'll go turn it off." I said, "Thank you." Because I know if I can hear it, little ears, because that travels through the woods and the valley, the sound, they'll hear that subconsciously all night long. And it's like, I can't prove that's some evil shit, but that's some evil shit. You know, that's hurting little babies and little baby girls. But there was boys in the same house next door, the last group of people that lived there. So don't matter boy or girl, it's just disgusting. So yeah. Anyway. So anyway, Doug's one of these big, oh, Trump's gonna be the savior, and um all these indictments, and he's gonna come back as president, and still not understanding that he's the dude that ushered in all the jabberoos on everybody, and he's the one that was wearing his first black face mask up there in front of the whole world, indicating I am an idiot like the rest of these fallen angels. See me? My name's Donald Trump. Yeah. The only trump card played with that bullshit is the bullshit people believe being played, you know, and that's the truth. He's all, they're all, it doesn't matter how far removed, whether it's 20 generations or what it is, they are all the same bloodline. You will not get in a government job unless you are related or like in the Masons, if recommended by somebody. And take it from me, I know I worked for the government in a few different, well, one of my very first jobs, a student teacher. Another job, paraprofessional at a boys ranch. Another job, a state facility for um, uh, detox. Another job, same school system, was janitorial. And then I went into their kitchen, all government jobs. So I take it from me, I know what I'm talking about, you know. And I wouldn't have been there if my parents hadn't have been part of the Illuminati. That's a fact. And if you do have a job like that, you know somebody, or you know somebody that knows somebody, or they just hired you till they find somebody that is somebody. Well, I decided to be a nobody. So I didn't do what they wanted me to do. So I am now considered a nobody. Well, I'm good. I'm cool with being a nobody. Yeah. Wait till they see how nobodies rise up and take down them somebodies. Because that's what's happening. Found out a long time ago there's a lot of nobodies that have way bigger hearts and a lot more intelligence than them somebodies. So, yeah. We have kind of a gloomy day, rather warm weather for this time of year. It's approximately 70 degrees out, which is nice in the northern climates of America. So, yeah. Well, that's probably about all on my mind today. I just thought I'd get on here real quick and tell you all I love you and let you know what's going on from my perspective. And like I said, don't be, I mean, if you're going out and you're just going out in the world just to condemn people and to find fault with them any way that you can, and like that's your thing and you really truly enjoy it, then you got some screws loose. But if you see injustices in this world and you know you're a person of God and you see that something totally is wrong, I mean, if it's evil, it's definitely not right. That's not judgment. That's actual natural reaction inside a human being. That's where your holiness comes into play, and it's decision making time. That's what we're doing out here. So, well, peace, everybody, and love. And I do love you, and I wish you the most peaceful days. I'm kind of I was gonna say afraid that they're not gonna be. I'm not afraid. It makes me sick. I'm sick that we can't have the peace that we so much deserve and require. So that's all I hope for sooner than later. Peace. Have a good day.